Welcome back to Business Boone, a product of the Boone County Chamber and hosted by Deepen Talent Strategies. I'm Shauna Lake.
And I'm Matthew Albro. Today, we're joined by Emma Frazier, the Operations Director at Freedom Church in Lebanon. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We like to start with a question that's really more about getting an idea of who you are. If your life were a movie, what would be the title?
My first thought is Michael Scott from The Office. He talks about his book, Somehow I Manage. So I would pick that, Somehow I Manage. Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Any reference to The Office makes me smile.
Yes.
So thank you.
My favorite show.
Yes, exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Emma, we're excited that you're here, and we're excited to learn more about Serve Day that Freedom Church shepherds and has led for several years now. But before we do, tell us more about you and your background.
About me, I have lived in Lebanon my whole life, and my family originally planted Freedom Church here in Lebanon at the movie theater, actually, in 2008. We were there for 3 years, and then we moved to the YMCA for 1 year, and now we're finally in our home, the old Chevy dealership right in front of the fairgrounds. So it's been 18 years, and we've been heavily involved in the community, and it's just been really cool to be a part of and watch the town really grow and change and get to be a part of all of that.
Terrific. Thank you.
So talk about that a little bit. 18 years now in the community. Tell us about, the role of the church, what it's become in that 18 years.
Yeah, really our passion is having a faith community that goes beyond just a Sunday morning. There's a lot of people that go to church and it's kind of just something you do, you check it off the list and that's it. But with Freedom, we really want to see communities of people living full lives outside of just a Sunday morning. And a big pillar of that is serving, so just being involved in your community. So one of the very first things before we even planted was being a part of the 4th of July parade. And that was kind of our big announcement that, hey, this church is coming. And it was super fun. There was only maybe like 20 of us or something. And we've been in the parade every year since. So it's been cool to see that group grow more and more. We've been at the 4-H fair, anything 4th of July, almost anything goes, worship at the park. Things like that. We also have our own outreach opportunities. So we have First Saturday Serve, which is the first Saturday of every month. We do some type of give back to the community, serving in some way. And then we have Serve Day, our big outreach initiative once a year. And we partner with schools throughout the year with give back to teachers, bring in lunch, write thank you cards, any way we can to just really partner with the community and our partners that already exist. So,
Thank you. You mentioned Serve Day, which has become quite a community event. Tell us more about that and what people could expect when they attend.
Yeah. Serve Day is like the best day of the whole year. It's super fun. I like to describe it as like a radical day of generosity. So it's just above and beyond generous. So the main hub of it is at the Lebanon Memorial Park on July 11th this year. And everything is free. So you show up, someone will greet you, give you a map, and kind of point out the different areas throughout the park. One of the biggest pulls for people is free school supplies. So the months leading up to Serve Day, we're collecting donations to give away anything you need for school. So we have school supplies, we have a clothes closet, so clothes, shoes, we have a food pantry so people can get groceries, we have hot lunch that day, so we have a ton of people grilling. We pay for the water park, so that's free all day. We've done haircuts before, we've done face painting, bubbles, inflatables, vision screenings, free kids books. We had a dentist there last year giving away toothpaste and toothbrush. So all sorts of things going on at the park, but even outside of the park, we actually have some service projects going on throughout the community. Like we've done habitat builds before. We were at Stokes last year helping teachers get ready for the new year. We always go to Lebanon Manor for yard cleanup. We go to Teen Challenge, Grace House. So it's really just taking over the whole community and just going above and beyond and serving. So it's super fun.
You mentioned before we started that you're behind the scenes at the church.
Yes.
I'm behind the scenes. Well, all of the things that go into Serve Day, all the businesses, you've got churches, you've got volunteers coming in and like you said, so many different
Yeah.
varieties of things to do. What does it look like behind the scenes? What's your view like when it comes to putting those things together?
Yeah, it's a lot. It is really cool to be in the seat that I sit in, to see all these conversations and people coming out saying like, hey, I have this, would this help? And just kind of seeing it come together. We've been doing this, I think this will be our 12th year doing Serve Day. So it's kind of has this reputation and people look forward to it now. And I feel like I've seen more people and organizations and individuals coming forward saying, hey, I have this, would this help? And the answer is almost always yes. So it's really cool to see. We have a handful of partners that are consistently serving every single year. So it's great to rely on them and say, hey, this is the date that we have picked, like, are you guys in? And then kind of going from there. And they also bring people to us like, hey, have you reached out to so-and-so? Or have you heard of this new organization? Or this could be a great opportunity. So a lot of it is just asking people to be involved in whatever capacity that is. So it's really cool to see that come together and just get the word out there. But yeah, a lot of conversations, emails, meetings, just to get people involved.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you've already mentioned a lot of the types of resources that you have and the events that you've had there. How do you decide which ones are going to have the greatest impact? Or is there information that you use, data, things that have worked, haven't worked, et cetera?
It's a combination of things. A lot of it is just basic feedback that we hear from the people coming to get resources. You can always tell by what they're asking for. Like I said, in the past we've had haircuts, and some years we don't have haircuts. So seeing like when they ask versus nobody even mentioned it, so we don't need to worry about it, you know.
Yeah.
But school supplies is the biggest ask that we have. We have people calling already asking like, hey, when's that school giveaway thing? So people definitely look forward to that. So we will always do our best to have school supplies. We also take in some information. That's the only spot at the park that we actually ask people questions. There are no signups, there's no requirements, anything, but we do just track it to see like, what school are you coming from, and are you in high school or elementary school? Because that helps us plan when we're taking in donations, because obviously elementary needs different things from high schoolers. So that kind of gives us some data to go off of as well. But other than that, it's really just asking people, asking our project leaders, like, how did that go? What did you hear? And kind of just tweaking it every year a little bit to make it, to remove all those boundaries from people serving and the people coming to be served.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Ask is a hard part, right? But if you don't ask, it doesn't come to fruition. At the same time, some people also aren't asking, hey, how can I help? How can I get involved, right? Serve Day is the greatest day of the year, right? But there are other opportunities, right, to partner with Freedom Church outside of just that day, year-round.
Yeah.
What do those look like?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, First Saturday Serve is the easiest way to get involved. If you're just looking for a way to serve the community, but maybe you already go to a church, but there isn't an outreach opportunity, or maybe you're just trying to instill that in your kids, that's a great way to get involved, and it's a little different every month. I always say it's like a mini Serve Day, because we'll rally together, we'll kind of explain the projects. There's usually 2 to 3 different opportunities, and then from there we break off and serve. So that's a really easy way to get involved. Serve Day is essentially easy too, but it's only one day a year. So we do a lot of different outreach things that it would be easy to jump in and serve. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
You've mentioned that it's your favorite day
Yeah.
of the year. I'm sure you've heard a lot of stories about how it's been meaningful to people. Are there any in particular, or one that really stands out to you that you'd like to highlight for our listeners of how it's impacted a family or an individual?
Yeah, one that I heard from, his name's Todd. He's actually a school bus driver for Lebanon, and he always he's our project leader for the clothes giveaway and the shoes giveaway, and he came up to me and told me with tears in his eyes, he's like, it's just so cool seeing these kids come up and they get to pick out their shoes, and then when they see him on the bus, they're like, you gave me my school shoes this year, you know, just little things like that they're so excited to have basic needs, you know. We also had another lady that does the school supply stuff talking to someone, explaining all the things that was available, and she had told them like, oh, and we have vision screenings like just over here, and that lady jumped up and like hugged her and was so excited. So it's just really cool to see how much it really matters to people, because sometimes we hear like, why are you even doing all this? It seems like so much work. People don't even need this stuff. Like, it's just a waste. And if you come and experience Serve Day, you can see it's needed and really appreciated. So it's beautiful to see.
Yeah, that's terrific. We like to ask all of our guests what's something that they know now that they wish they had known earlier in your career. I realize your career is pretty early, but I'm sure you've still grown and learned a lot in your time with the church. Is there anything that you'd like to share?
I would say have an open mind and try to stay flexible. I'm a very black and white, like just tell me exactly what to do kind of person. But I've learned that that's just not always the case with life. So trying to stay curious and open-minded, like I didn't even apply for the job that I have. It just kind of happened, and I love my job. Like it gives me so much purpose to live outside of myself and do something bigger than me. And it's not for like a title or anything like that. It's just truly life-giving, and I want other people to experience that. And sometimes I think you only find that when you're open-minded and step into opportunity. Even if it makes you nervous, or even if you're unsure and don't have all the answers, stepping out and trying something. And knowing that you're not always going to get it right, and that's okay, and just remaining flexible with it has really taught me a lot. And if I would have known that sooner, that would have probably helped me a lot too.
I think that's great advice for people of all ages to hear, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's great.
We want people to experience it as well. So, of course, if they want to get involved with Serve Day or any of the other opportunities to volunteer or partner as a business or an organization with Freedom Church, what's the best way to get in touch and learn about those opportunities?
Yeah, the best way is probably through our website, welcometofreedom.church/serveday. That has the date on there, what to expect, what donations we're taking in. There's a spot to sign up to serve and pick what project you want to be at. That has our email on there, all that. We're also on social media, Instagram, Facebook. But that's probably the best way is through the website to see what ways to get involved. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a lot of people just offering what they have, their expertise. So like Zionsville Eye Care, they're the ones that provide vision screenings. We couldn't do that on our own. That's them showing up saying, hey, like we have this, and absolutely we want to do that. Last year we had a lady say like, hey, I have like a funnel cake truck. Would people want that? I'm like, who doesn't want a funnel cake? Of course. We give away over 400 funnel cakes that day. Wow. So it's really just showing up with what you have to offer, and it takes a community to serve a community. So I think really just linking arms and being available is the best way to get involved.
That's awesome. That's the quote of the day. It takes a community to serve a community. Thank you, Emma. That's awesome. Yeah. We really appreciate you being with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's been great. And we will be back with more insightful conversations. Until then, continue leading and growing with purpose.